Eagles, Ravens, afternoon, the 4:25 kickoff on CBS. This game's in Baltimore. So, interesting thing that was brought to my attention from Mark and Philly. Shout out Mark and Philly, friend of the program. The Eagles...
Are we going to ignore the fact that he's cursed the parlay 2 weeks in a row?
Oh, man.
Did he curse it because did multiple plays lose in that one? Was the Falcons
that lost? He said I knew ball, and it was apparent that I did not know ball, unfortunately.
Kiss of death.
Yeah, maybe it is the kiss of death. Anyhow, friend of the program. The Eagles don't have to fly to another game. Likely until
I saw that.
Potentially the NFC title game.
Is there a little collusion there between Goodell and the Eagles?
Yeah, I don't know, but you bust down to Baltimore and bust down to Landover, Maryland, and then the rest of the games are at home. That's a big advantage for the Eagles ending up this season. It's the Ravens, it's the Eagles. We saw the Eagles last night take care of the Rams.
Yep.
Connor, our resident Eagles fan.
Yeah.
This guy.
Fly Eagles fly.
Fly Eagles fly. Well, I don't have a number on this game. It's not showing up for me. I was
2.5 Ravens.
It's 2.5 Ravens.
50.5.
This is tough because the Eagles have been on fire lately. The defense has been on another level. They dominated the Rams last night on Sunday Night Football.
Yes, they did.
And you look at it, on the season, the Eagles are number one in opponent yards per game. Last 3 games, they're second behind only Detroit, who's been killing teams.
Wait. Before you keep going, I hear a little beeping in the background. Are you backing up your take? I'm
not backing up the take. I'm hesitant to come out and back the Eagles here. I've been on them. I was on them last night. I was on them last week. This might be a slip-up spot for them. I hate to say it.
I think the line tells you what you need to know in this game. I think it's Ravens.
I think so, too.
I think the Ravens being favored in this spot. They've been a little shaky and whatnot. 7-4 versus 9-2. Eagles flying high right now. Give me the Ravens in this spot.
Baltimore's allowing less than 80 rush yards per game this year. That's second in the league, behind only Minnesota. The Eagles are at their best when Saquon Barkley is getting 30 touches. Side note, there might not be a more exciting player to have with the ball in his hands than Saquon Barkley, but for what it's worth, I do think the Ravens can somewhat stifle him, maybe make him have an average game. And if you make Jalen Hurts pass the ball 35 times in Baltimore, I kind of lean Ravens here.
I don't mean this in a negative way, Dylan. Will Levis is very exciting with the ball in his hands.
There's a wide range of possibilities of what's going to happen. I mean, you don't
exactly.
Yeah.
But Will Levis in the frontal lobe dynamic.
Yeah, we got to get that developed ASAP. If there's any way we can expedite that process.
Is he 25?
I have no clue.
Because
maybe like 23, shouldn't he?
Yeah, that's probably why. If 2 years, Will Levis might be the best player in the league because then it'll fully develop.
Will Levis with a fully developed frontal lobe is like Brett Favre.
He's 25.
Correct.
That's tough. Speaking of Will Levis, just real quick, did anybody see he extended the football out to the line of scrimmage like it was a first down, trying to get it early in the game? Oh, it was so funny. I was like, dude, what are you doing? You're 10 yards away still, buddy. And he gave me a little point too. It was great.
Ravens.
Yeah, Eagles Ravens. By far the best game of the week now. I mean, this is
There's some good games this week. There's some good games on Sunday.
This is a loaded slate. We've previewed like 8 games so far, it feels like, and we're going to skip the Vikings-Cardinals, which is also a huge game this week.
Yeah, they did a great job this week, that's for sure. By far the best matchup. It's kind of odd. You bring up the run defense. The Ravens, where they lack is in the secondary, not on the defensive front at all. They're able to generate pressure. It's just a matter of if you generate pressure on Jalen Hurts, is he going to be able to escape it? But also, is Jalen Hurts going to be able to capitalize on this very poor Ravens secondary? I wish I could have an answer for you. I think what's going to happen here, it's going to be a big day for, it depends if Devonta Smith, I think it's going to be Eagles wide receivers, whether it's going to be getting the ball out quick because you're getting pressure, you're getting blitz, or trying to expose the secondary of the Ravens. I think A.J. Brown, if Devonta Smith is back, I think these Eagles wide receivers are going to have a day. I'm not going to take a side or a total on it, but I think the Eagles wide receivers are going to have a day.
Jalen Hurts has been great. He's only had 1 pick since September 22nd against the Saints. He has taken care of the ball, although he hasn't been under pressure to throw the ball a ton.
Yep.
He hasn't thrown the ball more than what? He threw the ball 28 times against the Commanders, but other than that, he hasn't thrown it more than 22 times in a game in like the last few weeks. He has not had to make those crucial clutch throws. If the Ravens do somewhat stifle Saquon Barkley and Hurts has to throw the ball 30 times, that makes me like the Eagles a little bit less. As much as I've liked them the last few weeks, I don't know. The Ravens defense might be equipped to at least slow them down.
Yeah, and you've been all over the Eagles here. Ben,
I have.
are you going Ravens or Eagles?
I think I figured it out. I don't know if we were planning on talking about tonight's game. Tonight is a spot in which the Chargers win at home.
Love it.
But then the Ravens and Falcons win next week, where you have a Chargers letdown spot against the Falcons that have a Falcons team that has a lot of rest. On the other hand, the Ravens are a team that are going to lose tonight and bounce back against the Eagles. You look at Lamar Jackson in 24 games against NFC teams, he is 23-1 in his career. Teams in the NFC just don't know how to prepare for him because they're not seeing him year in and year out like teams like Buffalo, Kansas City. Yeah, the AFC North as a whole. That makes me like Lamar Jackson and the Ravens here, especially an Eagles team that I think, although they're starting to come to form a little bit, they're due to drop one. And yeah, I don't like them tonight necessarily, but I really like them next week. That the NFC record thing, it's a pretty damning stat, frankly. 23-1 is nuts. So I see no reason not to say it's going to be 24-1.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many times he's played the Panthers in that stretch, so it's kind of a misconstrued stat, just like have you.
No,
played
but last year, blowouts against the Lions and the 49ers.
Yeah, but I think blowing out the Lions is very easy compared to beating a team like Carolina is the issue.
That's fair.
Like Connor would agree definitely here.
A powerhouse.
Yes.
Yeah,
a powerhouse against the best quarterback in the league currently, someone who dices up the Chiefs and just –